I realize it's about moving on, right? Like there is a character who's not able to move on. So what's according to you is a proper way to move on? Is there any way to move on from a relationship?
I think time heals everything, and once that's over, you can find someone else. That's what.
To me, moving on, I don't think you really can move on from anything. It's always there. Some things are there.
Going to be toxic, then I think moving on is. I move on pretty quick like this.
What is something that you wish you guys had? Like what you despise of our envy of millennials?
We wish we have the love and the relationships they had, because it was pretty straightforward.
Okay.
If it's either we're boyfriend girlfriend or we're not.
Okay.
Now we have a lot of layers.
Do you think it's confusing now?
Yeah, now it's very confusing.
Hi guys, welcome to News 18's Showsha. So I just want to ask, start by saying that do you guys have seen Thuluvado Ilamai?
Yes.
It's Dhanush's debut film, and it's like round. He has come back. He has come back to directing a film like that. So did he talk about that to you?
Hi everyone, this is Siddhartha here. Hi Kirubhakar.
Yeah.
Hope we're doing good. To answer your question, I don't think he discussed it with us, but at some point he did mention to the media that he would like the audiences to show the same amount of love that they showed for that film, for our film as well. But it's really nice. It felt like, life's come a full circle.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask why did you think he chose you for this role?
Hi, I'm Anikha Surender. I have no idea. I genuinely have zero. I've asked him, was there a particular reason? He was like, no, you seemed good for Pavish's age mainly. That was a huge thing. I don't think he's seen any of my previous work, to be honest. But he thought I look good with Pavish, and he was like, you have that innocent look, which will be good for the character. So I think that was his reason.
What about you?
Hi, this is Rabiya. Hello.
Hi.
So, why you think he chose me? He mainly said I looked the part, and he said he looked for a lot of people for this particular character he couldn't get, and when he finally saw me, he said I looked the closest, mostly because I looked the part. And yeah, he also said that I look innocent and he can use it for a key thing in the film.
Like, did you guys have a casting process, or it's just like you were called upon for already the decisions were made and you were called?
We didn't have like a casting process. I think they just found my profile somewhere.
Right.
They had a look and he thought I look differently in a lot of pictures. So he wanted to meet in person and see how I look in person, and obviously if I suit the part and everything. So that's how I got the call, and I went and met sir and all that happened.
What about you?
I don't think there was a casting process per se, but as far as every character was concerned, internally at Mundaba, of course, Shreyas will reach out, and internally at Mundaba, they have their own process. So they reach out to us one by one, and we have to go meet sir, and based on that conversation, he decides whether we're in or not. Yeah.
What about you?
Hi, I'm Ramya. So I'm a dancer, and sir mentioned that when he was scrolling Instagram, he came across one of my dance videos, and he thought that my eyes were expressive. So he was like, okay, why not give it a try? So he wanted to meet me in person, and then I got a call from Shreyas, like Siddhartha mentioned, and I went and met sir. And so as Rabiya mentioned, he wanted to meet in person and check if this particular person will suit the part. But I didn't have any prior acting experience. I did tell him that I'm very nervous and I'm not that confident. But then he had that confidence in us, and that's how, because of his guidance and all of that, we ended up finishing the film. I think we've all given a very decent performance. But yeah, that's how he spotted me, and that's how I got that chance. He just went with his gut feeling, is what he said.
All right.
Hi, I'm Pavish.
Hi.
To answer your question, I really don't know. So that's what I'm doing today. I also don't have the guts to ask him. But whatever he trusted me and he gave his opportunity to me. So I hope I really live up to it. That's it.
And Pavish, I think I can ask you this. You worked as an AD as well with Dhanush for past 4 years. So why is he? Why direction now? Like, why is he like? There is 2 films back to back that's coming. And do you have any idea like what is his interest now?
I don't. I'm not sure to answer your question, but I know that he has a lot of stories to tell with it.
Right.
And I think the best way to tell is direction, bringing your own story to life. And he has a lot of stories inside. And I think these are all results of it.
And there are a lot of talks going on how you look like him. So what do you have to say about that?
Very, very. I'll take it as a very, very big compliment. People saying I look like him. Now it's a very, very big compliment to me because I idolized him. I'm inspired by him. Obviously, when you're inspired by him, you work on yourself to look like a person. So that's a very big compliment for me.
And this is for everyone. Yeah, anybody can answer that. How is he on the sets? Like, is he like a ringmaster who's like pretty strict about things, or is he?
He's not at all strict, but when it comes to work, he's very clear and commanding. But he's never strict. He's very friendly. He's very patient, very composed.
I'll ask you. So I think you are the oldest here. Like,
Yes.
and do you feel like they were giving you a tough time for sir or the sets? Like these people being, it's like a school, right?
Yeah, no, actually, it was pretty shocking and surprising for me as well, especially like when I found out everyone's age. He asked me my age, and I told him my age, and he was shocked. Then I asked him his age, and he told me his age, and I was shocked. I was like, bro, what's going on here? But back to your previous question, Dhanush sir made us all feel extremely comfortable. It felt like a big brother holding his, younger siblings' hands and walking them through this entire process. He's, as Pavish said, he's extremely commanding on set, and he's very clear on what he wants. And for him, time is of the absolute essence. So he tries to guide us. I may have worked on a few films, but there are still many departments that I can improve on. Some of these guys, they're doing it for the first time, so he knew it was integral to guide us through this process, and he made it very, very fun. He's like that one school teacher that we all just love hanging out with.
Okay, I want this question to be answered by everyone, so I'll go from here. This film, essentially, after watching the trailer, I realized it's about moving on, right? Like there is a character who's not able to move on. So, what's according to you is a proper way to move on? Is there any way to move on from a relationship?
I think time heals everything. And once that's over, you can find someone else. That's what.
To me, moving on, I don't think you really can move on from anything. It's always there. Some things are there. But I think you can learn to live better. You can learn to learn from whatever that happened and let it be there as a memory, but be better. Yeah.
What do you think is like a healthy breakup?
A healthy breakup is just understanding the situation and just letting each other walk away in our ways.
I partly agree with both of what they said. I think to move on, firstly, you need absolute closure. We all live and we learn, and we make mistakes, but the idea, I guess, is not to try and repeat those mistakes again. But until and unless you have absolute closure, I think it's difficult to move on because something will always be lingering, and it's not fair for the next person.
Right.
So it always makes sense to, when you reach a point of maturity and like comfort with your partner, to talk about it. If it's working, great. If it's not working, I think you should cut your losses, move on. Because at the end of the day, we wish well for the other person. And that's why we got into it. We're hoping to build a life together with them. If that doesn't happen, so be it. Just cherish the memories that were there, but get your closure and move on.
I'm sure you're a little shocked to get all this from Gen Zs.
I have a question that's about that exactly.
I'm not a Gen Z.
I know.
Yeah.
So your take, and you all have an experience of moving on.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Some painful, some not so painful.
Yeah. So I don't know about others, but I can speak for myself. For me, if a relationship is going to be toxic, then I think moving on is, I move on pretty quick like this. But if it's going to be, if if it was a very good relationship, it is definitely very difficult. But I think, as Anika mentioned, time heals everything, and also a proper closure will help me move on pretty quickly. Is what I think.
Right.
Personally, I think the best way to move on is first you need a closure because you have to have the idea why things ended on that. Other than that, I think to move on is to work on yourself. To be, you have to really work on yourself. You have to be a better person than what you were in a relationship. So when you get into your next relationship, you have to be a better person. So I think work on yourself and surround yourself with the people you love.
You have anything to tell to your character?
Mine?
Your character. He's the one who's struggling with that problem, right?
I think my character did the right thing.
Okay.
That's all. That's all.
And as Gen Z, as Gen Z, what is something that you wish you guys had? Like what you despise of envy of millennials?
We wish we have the love and the relationships they had because it was pretty straightforward.
Okay.
If it's either we're boyfriend girlfriend or we're not.
Okay.
Now we have a lot of layers.
Do you think it's confusing now?
Yeah, now it's very confusing. I really wish we had that connection between two people, like and we were ready to commit with each other.
Right.
So I think I really wish we had that.
And what do you detest or don't like about millennials or Gen X?
Would like what?
Yeah.
They come and they try to boss around us.
Yeah,
We're like,
Hey, hello.
our generation is better.
I'm offended, bro.
Our generation is better.
I'm offended whenever I have done that.
He hasn't done that.
Right.
He's Gen Z according to us. He hasn't
He has to pretend at least, no? You are like
Yeah,
outnumbered.
when you're around this energy.
I meet him a lot off steps also.
Yeah.
So I don't think in my eyes he's Gen Z and his friends also two three people are Gen Z.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Basically, we're a bunch of idiots who haven't really grown up.
Your take.
I don't know about what we would like to have, but then I can for sure tell that we wish we didn't have too many mobile phones.
Right.
Is what I think. I mean, usage of mobile phones, laptop, and everything. We're slowly moving into a digital world, and I think it has its own cons and pros. But I think there are a lot of cons in terms of relationship, because when we are at a dinner table per se, we're not connecting on a human level. We're always on our phone, checking things and all of that. So I think if we had, if we didn't use our mobile phones that much, I think we'd be a much better person.
You're not the Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm not, but if I may, I'd like to share my take on it. I think in today's day and age, not just for Gen Zs, but for millennials as well, things are changing, and like as she so rightly said, everything is available at your fingertips right now. Everything's just a swipe away. Before this, you had to go down, get in your car, go get your groceries and stuff like that. Now it's just a matter of clicking a few buttons, and it's at home in 10 minutes, right? Similarly with dating apps as well, it's you like this person, you don't like this person, you have options. Like everything is so easily exchangeable, and I feel that eats into this whole dating scene a little bit. Like there are too many options, and sometimes you don't fully understand before you go on to explore. And as he rightly said earlier, like when a relationship ends for whatever reason, I think that's an opportune time for you to work on yourself.
But you already are on apps and swiping.
Correct. You shouldn't be like jumping on to the next, because I know I made that mistake when I was younger. But I realized over time that if something doesn't work out, it's not just the relationship or that person. There is a problem in you itself that needs fixing. So I believe in like loving yourself before you can love others. Yeah.
Okay.
The things I really envy from the millennials are, I think, like how others said, I think they lived a more gadget-free life.
Right.
They lived a more physical and intimate life, intimacy in terms of sharing their feelings, and I think in a more everything had a lot of value. I think even now it does, but then it was more intense and more with the emotions, and there was a lot of connection. And I think when you don't get a lot of it, when you get only very few of it, I think you tend to value it more. That I miss a lot. I would love to get. I would have loved it if I gotten those love letters and someone waited to give this to me.
Wait for another release.
I would have just cherished those things more. That I think held a lot of value, and emotions.
So abundance has spoiled you all.
Sort of. I think it's more easier now. So I think if you get anything easily, which is in general also very true, if you get anything easily, it doesn't hold much value, and they don't value the relationship much. And I am someone who values relationships, so I would have loved all that for me to happen, but it didn't.
What you don't like about millennials?
I don't. I think they're a bit. I think they should also try and be. A lot of parents and a lot of people are still a little understanding, and they try to explain in a way like a lot of people in our lives. But what they can try and understand more is the generational gap. Maybe understand our world also and try to. Generally.
So wish we had more empathy. Wish we had more empathy.
Yeah, I think they can say it in a way, maybe understand our world also a little better because we have brought up now. Yeah, but we also understand. I think it's a mixture of both.
Feels like 2 days.
This generation, I feel like people are taking themselves a little too seriously.
Okay.
Sometimes a joke is a joke. And because of like what Ramya said, social media and all of that, everyone's opinions are being heard. Which is of course a good thing, but certain things I feel back in the day, it was taken more lightheartedly. It was more like, whatever.
We could take a joke.
Exactly, people could take a joke. Nowadays, I feel like it's not like that. With social media, people are like being very, taking offense really fast.
Right.
Which I don't know if this will offend some people, but that is sort of what is happening. So yeah.
And since you have been working for a while, are you this smartest kid in the classroom on the sets?
No, absolutely not. I
Who-
mean, experience.
Come on, she's being humble.
No, I'm really not. But experience, yeah, it matters. But while working with Dhanush sir, the first thing that he told me pretty much was like, I know you've had experience working in films, but when you come to this set, throw that out of your head. Because everybody here needed to start from scratch, which is, I think, what we did.
Right. And who's the naughtiest?
Thank you.
Like,
Huh.
sure.
Who's
He's not here with us today, but he's definitely the most mischievous one, sir.
And who's the teacher's pet?
Math.
Matthew.
Matthew, yeah.
He takes the fastest takes, like,
Yeah.
it's very easy.
But having said that, he's very sweet to all of us.
Okay.
But
Not exactly teacher's pet.
yeah, not exactly a teacher's pet, but you know,
Nobody was like a pet.
yeah, he's very sweet with all of us. Like, you know, getting an okay or good from him itself is a very big deal. And I think all of us got that during the shoot.
What are you in the class?
First bench.
First bencher for sure.
I was gonna say I self-admit that. Yeah.
And what about her?
She is an odd kid.
Run back benches.
She's a bad bench.
I wish Thomas had joined. I had a question for him, which is, I will ask you all. So, this trope of best friend duo, the hero and best friend is like a hit in Tamil cinema and of course everywhere. Even in Avesham, we have a great duo. Who's your favorite duo like that in Tamil or Malayalam, wherever it is?
So far, this film was so fun.
So far in Tamil cinema.
I really liked Jeeva sir and Santanam sir and
In-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a-
Yeah, that's brilliant combo.
I really love Dhanush sir and Karuna sir's combo.
Polladavan, okay.
Films in Ennadi, Moni. I really love the Dhanush sir and Karuna sir's combos.
Right. I think Dhanush sir has a lot of good comedy, sense of humor, right? And
He has very sharp.
right. And does that seep into Nick?
100% he's the director. And Dhanush sir has this, which I love as a audience, that he, like, without talking, he'll
Okay.
convey that humor. Like, just with reactions, he'll convey the humor. And if you see the film a lot, I really love that sense of humor.
Is he a short fuse person or does he has a long rope to everyone?
He's extremely patient. He's asking me to
He's extremely patient and very, very composed. And he's very composed.
Okay.
There's
And
a sense of grace that he carries. There is a sense of grace that he carries with him and a sense of poise that he carries with him, and that translates onto our performance as well, because it can be a little nerve-wracking for some of us, right? So he brings that composure and it translates very well in the film, I feel.
Okay, and I want to talk about your roles in the film, like each one of you, so that we'll have an idea.
So my character, I think I related to my character a lot, and I think a lot of people can relate to my character at some point of the movie, and they would have experienced some or the other feeling or an emotion what this character would have experienced in the film. So I think my character is just a boy next door character, is what I feel.
I think she's a very loving, bubbly, giving kind of a person. She's empathetic towards others, and she goes to any extent to someone she loves.
I unfortunately can't talk too much about my character.
Right.
I've been told not to, but there is an element of surprise as far as my character is concerned. But otherwise, he's your quintessential nice guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So my character is something like you all have a friend in your life who keeps giving reality checks, and someone who doesn't give a damn about a lot of things other than her very close friends and her world. So I think it was a little interesting to play that character.
My character is sort of a character that I don't really relate to, because when Dhanush sir explained the character to me, he was like, she's a very sophisticated, graceful, very soft character, which I believe that I'm not. So I pretty much just did what he told me to do and followed what I was doing. But that's the sort of character I play as girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or whatever that you see in the trailer. So the story basically revolves around what happens in relationships. So, yeah.
Have you guys seen Euphoria?
Yes.
Web series? Oh, everyone.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So because there is a lot of characters in this film, I was just like remembered of like, oh, there could be a Euphoria in Tamil. Like someone can make it. Like pick a character. Yeah. We are not ready yet. We are not ready yet for Euphoria.
PG-13.
Yeah. We are not there yet. So, but still.
In good time.
Yeah.
Probably Friends is a better one.
Yeah, exactly. In an interview they were saying that.
Yeah.
Friends and How I Met Your Mother is a very good.
Yeah.
It's very sitcom-ish because
Okay.
the comedy is like that.
I wish I'd seen Friends. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I haven't seen it.
You should. Trust me, it's not too late. Like,
No, I'm not the one of those snobs who like I won't. Yeah.
I'm just quiet.
No, but it's a great watch. Anyone who's watched it would tell you the same. I think you really enjoy it.
I will eventually. And so I want you guys to like. I think you were pretty much doing it for the past 1 month, selling this film. But I know you guys are tired, repeating the same thing over and over again. So this is the task. You have to sell this film, okay, to the audience. But when the mic comes to you, you shouldn't repeat what the other person told you.
Let's start. Please, don't.
This happens in every interview when
Don't
they ask you a
elaborate on this
question.
every
Right.
By the time it comes to me, I'm like,
Yeah. Everybody.
We go last to Ramya.
Right.
Yeah, it's because she is an
Exactly.
encyclopedia.
Okay.
She'll cover everybody's topics in my end, and then he gets a mic, will be like,
Okay.
I said everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to follow a linear pattern. Okay.
Mechanics will start with you.
Yeah.
The main selling point of the film is that Dhanush sir is done everything in the film, and
You don't get to say the entire thing.
I'm not saying. I'm going to stick to my point. My point that I've taken is that it's a Dhanush directorial. Okay?
Okay. This is the first bench energy I'm getting. Okay.
It's annoying. But yeah, he's done everything for the film, and that essence that Dhanush sir brings to all of his films will 100% be there in this.
Okay, I will like. As I definitely agree with her. I think one of the first points of contention here is that Dhanush has directed this film, and
No, you shouldn't repeat.
no, I'm saying I agree with the point. I'm going to add something new. He's directed this film, and if you notice, the first film he directed, the lead pair were an older couple, whereas in this it's a much younger couple. So it'll be very interesting to see how he perceives this generation's love and how he's presenting it. And it's got great music by Kirubhakar. And in a time where there's a lot of thrillers and big films and very serious films, here comes a very easy, breezy, happy rom-com that you can just go, turn your brain off, have a good time, and walk out of the cinema laughing.
Right.
You just said 3 points.
I think it's a very beautifully portrayed Gen Z love story with a lot of fun, emotions, drama. I think it's been so long since we watched a film like this, and yeah, it's very breezy like that.
So, this film, I think you have to, as a audience, as a person I follow cinema, you should see this film to see the contrast of Dhanush's previous film and this film. Because from Lion to Nilavukku Enmel Ennadi
Yes.
if you see both the trailers, that they don't match. So the genre shift, that contrast, and obviously Dhanush sir and GV sir's music is there. I think, you can take your stress day, you can go to the theater, 2.5 hours, you can forget everything, laugh, come out of the theater.
Okay. I think people love you a lot, your cast members.
Easily one of
They
our
don't.
favorites. What do you say? Well, we love you.
So, they have said the major part, but I think in our film there's a lot of new color grading that's been used in terms of cinematography, which is very, very interesting. And right from the first poster that you guys have seen, it's pretty colorful and new thing for a Tamil audience with a fresh cast and bunch of youngsters. Again, but I cannot not mention this point. I think people should watch it because what Dhanush sir would have done this with something like this, with all the elements like the fresh cast and the young vibe. I think it's something new to experience and enjoy with a very traditional touch yet.
Okay.
It'll be a very good
But that's true. The color palette is really, these days it's just
Interesting.
all gloom, red, black.
Yeah,
yeah.
so here it's a bit colorful and good for your eyes. I think it'll be nice for you to watch.
You said it's not going to be what other person does, he's repeating what she did.
I'm just explaining my.
Also, like Pavish and I were talking the other day, and we were drawing comparison of this film to some of our previous films.
Yeah.
And if you like films like Uttamaputhiran, Purushothaman,
Right.
and stuff like that, you would definitely love this film because it's very similar in terms of the meter.
The world is happening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think the world that Tiruchitrambalam, I think Vedilamathan Ali,
VIP.
Tangamagan, I think all this is happening in the same world.
Yeah.
And Adikadavan, everything is happening in the same world, and I think you can see that also when you see the film.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Okay, I'll leave you guys with putting you on a spot. Would you prefer Dhanush actor or the director? Actor. I want someone who wants to like I want actor.
Director for me.
Oh, okay. There is
Definitely
it.
director.
Can you say why?
Sure. See, I love him as an actor. In fact, in my humble opinion, I think he's one of the best leading men India has right now. However, as a director, a lot of elements seep in along with his direction. You know, his acting comes in. Like a lot of what we're doing in the film is heavily inspired by him. So we get to take a little bit of that. His command of the craft is really spectacular, and you know, I'm not the only one to have said this. Almost everyone who has spoken about him, about this film, who have seen the film, they all are marveling at the fact of his command of the craft. You know, he's got so much knowledge when it comes to camera work, when it comes to editing, dance, music, acting, and like having all that come together as a wholesome package. That's the reason why I'm choosing Dhanush as a director.
I've been saying actor, but greedily, I have a 1 minute explanation for it. If I can pick both, why as a director too? Because to me and to us, it's been amazing, very quick. I've been on other sets as well, so when I see it as a comparison, I think I've been privileged to be a part of a set like this, which is pretty quick and nobody's time is getting wasted. And I remember things like he used to be like, whenever I'm done, he'll be like, okay, you're done, you can go. It'll be just in the middle of the day, and I'll be like, oh wow, I'm done, awesome. But if it's some other set, you have to. There's maybe for the technical reasons, but here it's a bit.
So it's very precise.
Favorite set for
He
me.
knows what he's going to shoot every day.
Absolutely, he plans everything, and he's a cool director. He'll be like, "Okay, ma, you're done. You can leave." And I'm like, "Oh wow, I got the privilege to be off and just leave the set whenever I can when I'm done." But in other sets, you can't. You have to be. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, add something.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
So here's the thing, like what she said is absolutely true. Like, you know, sometimes like when we're done early, he's so fast at what he does, like it's crazy. But most of us, I think I can speak for all of us when I say this, most of us like to hang back on set, even though we're done. And you know, sir has also requested, like he's like, on days where you guys are free and not shooting for anything else, come to the sets, you know, bond with the team.
Yeah.
It'll help you get a better idea of the script, of, you know, the characters in it, it'll build your chemistry. So I think very often, even though we were not shooting, all of us were there on set just to watch what's going on and like be a part of that process, because there's so many takeaways that will help us evolve as actors, you know.
We never left the set too. Whenever
Of course, should have been the happening place.
Yeah.
And Sir was very clear with it.
Yeah.
Very clear. Not one shot in a movie you can fit it without.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it comes from his experience of acting in Hollywood? Yeah.
Absolutely, 100% from acting. Because whenever I worked in a lot of films where Dhanush was an actor, he'll come and he'll say, note this, note see what shots and they'll take it. You have to, and he'll tell me to do like, why are they taking this shot? And suddenly he'll come and ask me a question, and that's a very big thing because him getting into that character is a very big thing, and him acting is another big thing. And he'll take the time. Whenever he's free, he'll call me and say, what did you learn from this shot? What did you learn from this shot? And that is like a huge thing, and it's a big quality. That's like very big.
Yeah. So I remember my first shot in the film, it was with Anikha. And Sir was directing it, he had given us clear instructions as to what to do. He tells us what he expects from the scene, what the emotion is going into the scene, and then he gives us our space to do what we want. So as soon as we were done with the take, he said, take okay, and the DOP was setting up for the next shot. He wanted to do an OTS with myself and her. And Sir walked in and he's like, yeah, I got what I needed. Like, you know, that's enough. So as Pavish said, you know, he's so clear in his head as to what is needed in the final product that he doesn't waste any time.
So there is no concept of coverage, like covering everything, every shot, mid shot.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, Sir comes from a school of time is money and it's of absolute importance. So if it's not needed, it's not going to be.
Right. And you have to answer the question.
I would say actor.
Actor.
That's all I can say. I don't really have a particular reason for that other than the fact that I love watching his films a lot, and he's, as Siddhartha said, he's one of the best actors in the country right now. So, yeah.
Thank you for the
Thank you
time.
so much for your time.
Thank you for talking to CNN News 18 Showsha.
Thanks for having us.